Kiss 92, all the great songs in one place. You're with Joshua Simon. Our dramatic owl, Nat Ko, is on the show. And with us, another guest from the literary world and drama world that Nat is so a part of and is obsessed with all the time.
Love. We have the wonderful Ivy Ngeow with us, the award-winning Malaysian-born author making waves in the world of psychological thrillers. So she's back in Singapore for a very special book tour to promote her latest release in Safe Hands, which is a gripping and emotional thriller that deep dives into family secrets, identity, and survival. Welcome, Ivy.
Thank you very much, Nat.
You have been praised for giving a very fresh Asian perspective to the stories that you write, the thriller genre, and also the story itself in Safe Hand deals with elder care as well as the fear of being erased. So how do you think your heritage has allowed you to tell the story that reaches out to audiences all over the world?
I feel that as somebody writing with an Asian upbringing, I'm bringing a certain perspective through Western eyes as well, because I have been living in the West. Mm-hmm. And I feel that I am examining the things which bother me, which are our own cultural conflicts from our traditional upbringing, caring for the elderly or for the disabled, the idea of care in the family is something that I wanted to explore, because in the West, it's very much subcontracted and it's okay, like it's accepted. Whereas in Asia, we are going to be living with guilt, because that is how traditionally we accept the idea of care due to our, Confucian ethics. Mm-hmm. These family conflicts have come about because of modern lifestyles.
Okay, so I also want to know, would you think that the behavior towards elder care differs greatly compared to the UK?
Increasingly, because of our nuclear families, we no longer have 3 generations living together. Mm-hmm. But that's come a lot sooner in the West. So the idea of paying for care or hiring help has started a longer time ago. And it's something that probably is still, I think it's new in countries which are developing in Asia, but I think in Singapore it's quite common now.
With us on the show is author Ivy Ngeow. She is from JB, but she's here in Singapore just for a little bit before she returns. But she's got this stunning new book, In Safe Hands, and it's a gripping Asian psychological thriller about Genevieve, who returns to London to care for her ailing father, only to find herself in a silent battle with his unsettlingly devoted caregiver. It's giving misery. I think many Singaporeans, actually Malaysians also, we feel the same. When we pick up a book, we're thinking, first question, is it going to be a very hard, difficult read?
I think it's a page turner myself. When I write, I make readers care. If you care about the characters, you will turn the pages because you're following them. You want to know what happens to them. It's like the people that we follow in social media. We want to know what happens. But if we don't care what they do or what they're saying, if they're not being authentic, you won't want to read anymore. So to me, it would be an easy read.
I'm wondering, what do you mean by you make the audience care? For example, is the character likable or are they relatable? And how do you know how to craft characters that are likable or relatable? Or someone to root for, I guess?
I love that question because I think that's what writers and readers explore all the time. Why do I like this character? Why do I hate them? Characters that we love to hate are probably the best.
Yes.
The villains. I have a lot of admiration for authors because you build an entire world with just words. Right? And then it's such an intimate experience to pick up a book, especially with how fast technology is constantly changing and there's so much screaming for your attention. I think just the humble action of just sitting down with a book, there's just nothing like it. And it's also very, very old school, since the dawn of mankind, just sitting down, just that power of imagination, right? What has been your greatest satisfaction so far from the process of writing? Because you're 6 books in now, right?
I write because I'm trying to explore my own difficulties in communicating my own ideas. I love to create worlds, but I'm also trying to find my own reality and my sense of identity because I've lived abroad for a long time. So I don't quite belong anywhere. And I feel that in the fictional world, I belong because I'm creating people who might be like me or who might be a version of people that I know. And that to me gives me a real satisfaction when writing. And after I've written, I really enjoy the idea that I'll be meeting readers. And when you meet a reader, somebody who actually appreciates your creation, you realize that you have written something that is a gift. They understand where you've come from, the world that you've created, the characters that you've made.
With us on the show is Ivy Ngeow. She has written a new psychological thriller. It's out now. It's called In Safe Hands. You're with Joshua Simon and Nat Ko. You've said this numerous times as well that you've lived all around the world as an author, right? I am curious whether or not there are a lot of similarities, a lot of differences for what life is like or what can happen for an aspiring author. Marketing is one thing that's very difficult to market a book. We also have very few bookstores these days, and the ones that are, we're trying to protect them, we're trying to treasure them. Is it better in the UK? Is it better in Malaysia as an author there? Because maybe there are more readers over there.
I think that universally the market has been difficult. I found most of my readers, because it's English language fiction by a non-English author. I find that in the US and in India, I have a bigger audience than in Southeast Asia, but it's only a question of numbers. It's because, the UK is very small and so is Southeast Asia. So the number of readers are proportionately smaller. I mean, what you said is right. The market is difficult because we are in a very niche world of reading and of books, and publishing has changed so much in the last 20 or 30 years.
Well, I appreciate you actually just being honest about that, Aspiring authors need to hear that, but also I don't want them to give up at the same time.
I think that younger readers or writers should know, if they're aspiring writers, that writing is the easy bit.
Ooh. The writing itself is the easy bit, even though writing seems like the hardest bit, right?
You sit in your room and write at your own time. That is easy. You have no boss. Nobody's going to make you do anything that you don't want to. In fact, you don't have to write. It's a thing that you only write because you have to. It hurts not to write. That's happened to me. I've always tried to give up, thinking this is why am I doing this? And then I write it.
Okay, this is a question that we always ask every author that we speak to. When do you know when it's time to put the pen down and, let your creation soar?
Because I've written a few books now, I've kind of learned from experience that I'm doing fewer drafts, but I don't think anybody should see your first or second draft. I feel that you need, at my stage, I feel that I need a minimum of 6. But I'm getting better. And I know people who can do it in 3 drafts. But I think beginners need at least 10, maybe 15 drafts. It's always going to get better. It can't get worse, because every time you tinker with it, it improves. It's this building or a lump of clay. Each time you go at it, it's going to be more you, isn't it? It's going to be less of that thing or lump of clay and more of the artist.
There we go.
Give it up for Ivy Ngeow, everyone. Real pleasure to have you on the show, especially since, you're traveling back to JB. Are you going tonight or what?
I'm going tonight, yeah.
Wow, after this, you just drive straight
She
to...
chiong already, I tell you. Her best friend is on standby, ready to drive her away.
Go pick up your copy of Ivy Ngeow's brand new In Safe Hands, a psychological thriller. And while you're at it, also look at The American Boyfriend, The Power Ballads, Heart of Glass. 6 books from this phenomenal author.